The love you get from a mother cannot be replaced by anything or anyone. That special love that you receive from a mother or from your mother heals all the wounds you may have felt through life. It protects you from all the things you fear. It gives you hope that you can have a brighter future. Without mothers, life wouldn't be worth living. In fact, we wouldn't have life. The only bad thing about Mother's Day is that it's isolated to a day. Mothers should be celebrated all year round, every day of the month. So, to all you mothers out here from the Ordinary People podcast, I would like to be the first to say Happy Mother's Day to you. And thank you for all that you do. And welcome to the Ordinary People podcast, where we talk to ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I'm your host, Alan the Great, and today I'm sitting here with two amazing, or should I say extraordinary women. Two women who had important imprint on my personal life, my personal growth, and mean a lot to me. I'm opening my doors today to you, my listeners, my family, to my immediate family. Two important women to me. I want to introduce to you Miss Tamla Ryder, who was my mother, and Miss Janae Hollingsworth, who was my sister. Welcome to Ordinary People Podcast, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Now, you're the first two women to actually grace the Ordinary People Podcast, and it's only right that we do it on Mother's Day and that we have the two of the most important women to me on the podcast. So, first, I want to say thank you for being extraordinary mothers, not just on Mother's Day, but every day, for all that you do and all that you give to this world. And we wanted to talk about how important, what it's like to be a mother, but also the importance of being a mother. So we'll start by saying, Miss Tamla Ryder, because I'm going to call you by your name today. Normally I call you mom, but we're going to call her by her name today. Mother of two, also stepmother of how many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 7, 8.
7, 8. So you're
Somewhere
technically a
around
mother of 10 right at this point.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. And Miss Janae Hollingsworth, you are a mother of two.
Yes.
All right. Mother of two boys, where you have you have 2, 3 boys and the rest girls. So we're counting them up. We're gonna do the math. That's 10. Let's separate 3. So let's go 7 girls, 3 boys. That's a good. That's a good number.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a little. We're gonna have a little fun today, and I just wanted to talk to you, ladies, about being a mother every day. Of course, I'm a man. I don't know what it's like to be a mother. So the first question I have for y'all is, what is it like being a mother? How does it feel to be a mother? Like, what are one of the biggest challenges every day as a mother?
For me, I feel privileged to
Okay.
be a mother, to be able to be a mother. What it's like, it can be difficult, but at the same time, it can be great.
Hmm.
So it kind of goes both ways.
When you say it can be difficult, what do you mean by it can be difficult?
I mean, like your children, like when you guys were coming up, it was the streets. You always had to worry about things happening to y'all in the streets, worry about you going somewhere, never coming home, worry about the struggles of life pretty much. Because
Right.
that's something that a mother never stops doing,
Hmm.
no matter how old her children get.
Okay.
The difficulties of the girls, for one, you going out there and you have girls that are jealous or envious, you have the little bit that they do have,
Mm.
not knowing that they could have the same thing.
Right.
My daughter's going out to clubs worrying about, are they going to come back home, are they going to meet somebody and go off somewhere. I always tell them, if I call you, just answer the phone and say, Mom, I'm okay.
Right.
So those are my concerns. I really never had an issue with you because you were never the kind of kid that went out like that and got into trouble. Of course, when y'all were younger, your sister was a whole nother different story. But then with Janae and having Janae and TT, Janae was good. Kind of stubborn as a mule, but good. TT, on the other hand, was like Lisha. you had to worry about her all the time, worry about somebody doing something to her, something happening.
Mm-hmm.
You just never knew what was going to go on.
Mm.
Now, the upside of it is you always have somebody who will love you unconditionally. You have somebody that you can call your own, that you can pour your love into,
Right.
that you can teach and nurture, and you never know how your children watch your every move
Mm-hmm.
until they grow and you start to see it by their actions or
Right.
reactions,
Right.
so
Okay, Janae, what do you feel like? How do you feel as a mother? Like, what's one of the biggest challenges you face as a mother?
Well, I agree with Tamla, aka Mom. Some key points she pointed out too, and with me being having two boys, so
Mm.
that's my thing. And with them growing up, it's like the world is so limited to guys now because so much is going on with guys, and it's like with kids being followers and stuff too. It's like it's kind of hard, and kids commit suicide, so it's like it's a lot of stuff. But I definitely love being a mom and has all these challenges with kids, and they having so much energy and stuff. But besides that, it's good, man. It's good.
That's good. That's good. Now, it's funny you said you talked about suicide and the kids committing suicide and stuff,
Hmm.
and it kind of like hints to the next place I want to go with being a mother. Of course, both of you raising children in different eras in different times, and in them different eras, there's different challenges you face.
Hmm.
Where Miss Ryder, you dealt with an era where I was born in the '80s,
hmm
so there was not so much technology. There
no,
wasn't the advancement of technology. So the world was a lot more smaller.
right.
Where Miss Janae, you're raising your children in a different type of world where there is technology and the world is bigger. It's a difference when you're dealing with bullying now because where bullying, you would deal with bullying worrying about school bullies. And a bully at school would stay home. You're now dealing with a different type of bully because the bully now follows your child home.
Right.
And you can't see that bully so much. So what I wanted to ask you is, how was it in your time in the era that you raised kids? What was the biggest challenge in your era that you had? What were one of your biggest concerns when you were raising your children up?
The biggest concern that I have to honestly say that I had was the area that we lived in. That was
Okay.
the biggest concern with all the drugs and actually that was the biggest concern. The drugs and watching the kids that wanted the Jordans and the thing project children that
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get these things, but they see these drug dealers out here and they're kind of looking up to them. They
Right.
were their role models. That's
Mm.
all they had.
Right.
So, that was the biggest thing that I worried about. I was concerned with you getting into that, so that's why I worked the way I did and gave you what I gave you so you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to get out there and do that. I was just trying to show you a whole nother way of going about getting what you wanted other than being out there, with the drug dealers because yeah, they would have turned you on
Mm-hmm.
if I allowed that,
Mm-hmm.
so I let you see that if you work hard for what you want, you keep it
Right.
versus going out there and getting it fast and you lose it.
Right. You grew up in the I grew up in the crack era where crack was really invading the streets.
hmm
And how did you, as a mother, and I think it's important to point out both of these women are single mothers. And I think, I'm sorry, I should have stated that earlier. You both are single mothers. How did you navigate through the crack era and ensuring that your kids, or me personally, didn't get caught up into that epidemic that was happening?
Well, again, I worked hard, to get you out of that area.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to y'all. I
Mm-hmm.
talked to you. I never, you know yourself, I never kept anything from y'all.
Right.
I let you know what was out there, what it was about, what would happen to you if you went out there.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I kept you close. I kept
Mm-hmm.
a close eye on you. I made sure that you weren't around where the drug dealers could get a hold of you to say, little dude, here go a couple dollars. You can get your Jordans if you do this for me.
Right.
Just take this across the street. Well, I made sure that wasn't around you.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I got to the point where I would have fought somebody out there if they tried to do that to
Mm-hmm.
you or to Lisha.
Right.
And that's pretty much how I got through it. And then Gwen, she was there. She was always around when I wasn't home. She was there with y'all. So
Gwen is my cousin,
your
of course.
cousin, right?
Very close
Cousin
friends to me
slash
as well.
aunt.
Right.
Yeah. So she, she was there to make sure that y'all were safe. And me and Gwen, we were just like, I mean, we were hell bent on keeping y'all from going that route.
Right.
And no matter what we did, I always told y'all, don't do what I do, do what I say.
Mm,
So that was pretty much how I handle that.
okay. Janae, you deal with a different era now. You're not dealing with the crack era. You're dealing with the era of social media, technology, the era of technology. How do you handle technology with your kids getting older in age, becoming more interested in technology? How are you handling the fight against technology?
And it's crazy that you asked that because recently, Zaire asked me could he get a Facebook, and I'm like, I don't feel like that you're ready for a Facebook yet. It's a lot of stuff going on in the internet that you don't need to see. So I kind of now start putting parental controls and stuff on their tablets and stuff because it's like they be watching like little TV shows that got all this cussing and stuff in it, and then the kids is committing suicide and stuff right on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. So it's like I really don't want them to see that, but it's like then again they can get on computers and stuff in school, so it's no telling what they're watching
Mhm.
there either. They can
Right.
get on all these other sites and stuff, and it's like they find all types of ways to get on the internet, and it's horrible.
It's hard to police them, right? It's very difficult to police them because
Yes,
you give your child a device and
right.
then they find ways around it. I know
Yes.
you have apps where you can read their text messages and stuff,
Yep.
but children are so creative and so smart today that they find ways
Yes.
to even outmaneuver the parents. And
Mhm.
it's like I said, it's a different era
Yeah.
where we used equal opportunities to get around our parents.
Mhm.
It's not like the same way. We
Yeah.
just trying to like sneak outside to a
Yeah.
party where they're trying to sneak on the internet, and it's very difficult to like do that. Now you have two sons.
Mhm.
You of course have, like I said, you have three sons altogether. One of the questions I want to ask you both is: in the current climate we live in, we know about police brutality. You can't escape it. You can't escape the murdering of African American men being hunted down, killed by police officers. Now, I'll start with you, Janae. You have two sons. How do you raise your sons in this current climate, and what do you tell them to try to not only protect them but prepare them for what's out there for them?
Well, like with the cop brutality, Zaire had asked me, he was like, Mom, is it still safe to go up and talk to cops? And I was like, all cops is not the same, so you can't really look at every cop like, oh, we're gonna shoot you because every cop is really not
Mm,
like that. And just I just try to talk to them and tell them to always make sure they talk to me, let me know what's going on. And then but it's just these other kids too, and it starts with the parents, like,
mm,
and they see it in school and sometimes follow what the other kids do, and it's like I don't know, I'm just trying my best to make sure that nothing crazy is going on, but sometimes it's crazy stuff do go on
right.
and you can't prevent it, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Ryder.
I think a lot of that is stereotypical, as far as the police with the young black men, or I should say black men, period.
Mm,
I think a lot of that's stereotypical. I think the police look at them and think that, oh, that's a thug right there. Automatically they're doing something wrong or it's a crime. It's all in the way that the young men present themselves.
right.
I believe
Hmm.
it's on the way that they present themselves. If you walk around here like you are doing, if you're acting like you are doing something, of
Mm,
course they're going to mess with you.
right.
I don't think that they're just messing with you to be messing with you.
Right.
It's two sides to everything.
Hmm.
Right.
And I just believe that I would tell my grandchildren, because you're grown now.
Mm,
Zion, of course, is into football and the stuff like that, but Jojo,
mm,
what I would say to him would be, it's all in how you carry yourself. It's all in the way you act. Okay? If you see a police officer and you're not doing anything,
mm,
you don't have any reason to, react in any sort of way. If they tell you to stop, put your hands up.
right.
Just stop. Doing what you're doing, stop. If you know you're not doing anything wrong, just stop.
Right.
And not saying that that's going to work,
Right.
but let's just try to um, be positive. Let's just teach our children that, first of all, you just don't go around doing the wrong things. You present yourself in a proper manner. If a police officer calls you or talking to you, then you give them the respect that you would give your parent.
Right.
You know, like I said, not saying that all police are not corrupt. Most of them are corrupt. A lot of
Hmm.
them are corrupt.
Hmm.
You know, and if you run into a corrupt police officer, I would just say, I mean, I don't even know how to tell them to react to that,
Yeah.
because how do you tell your child to react to that? With all the stuff that's going on now, they could go up and they could put their hands up. They could still be shot.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? We really don't know how to tell them to react other than to stay out of the gangs. You know,
Mm.
stay out of the fights in the streets.
Mm.
Stay, don't be a part of, you know, throwing rocks at the police cars or giving them any kind of attitude or looking at them in a way that they're going to mess with you.
Right.
You know, pretty much just do what you were taught to do. You know, be respectful.
Mm.
You know, I mean, that's, I don't know, it's all.
That's good. That's good. Um, as a mother and as a grandmother, I know one of the challenges that you have to deal with every day is the fact that when your child goes out, there is a chance that he may or may not be murdered by a police officer. And it's not just the police officers we're worried about; it's people in our communities and of the same color as us. Just
Mhm.
being in the wrong place at the wrong time, having on the wrong thing, or just not even having on the wrong thing, just having something that somebody else wants, you're put in constant danger. So I think I agree with you that it's definitely a challenge to try to figure out a way to prepare our children for the world outside here. But it's definitely important as parents to continue to communication and keep the line of communication open between your children, being honest with them, explaining to them the problems and realities of the world, no matter how harsh it may seem or how that you may just not want to deal with at the time. So I think that's important, but it also makes me want to segue to something a little bit lighter because we don't want to make this a somber day. This is a day of celebration, and it's all about you as mothers. What is one of the greatest things about motherhood? Tell me. I want you to tell me a great story, a great mother story.
It's so many.
It's a lot.
It could
It's
be
a
a
lot.
funny story. It could be a silly story. What's a funny story that you have as a mother with your children?
Well, for me, it was when me, you, and Lisha first started out, and we moved into our own home,
Hmm.
and how we would play around the house. You know, we would actually go into, we would get the other kids over there, and we would go outside, and I had this belt that was like a you remember that belt? It was like screen or something, metal. It was metal with the
Okay.
rhinestones, big rhinestones.
Yeah.
And remember, and we used to go outside and play hot belt and run around the yard, and
Wow.
you know, and every time they would be going with that belt, she'd be calling me. I can't help you. I'm trying to get away too. But I mean, those were some good times for me. But the best times was when, and I have to honestly say, when I gave birth and I first looked into y'all's eyes,
Mm.
that was the best time for me. You know, with both, actually both of y'all.
It's funny you said. When I had my son, I always tell people it was the most. You said it was the best time of your life, and of course it was for me as well. But it was also the most scariest moment in my
Yes.
life. I always tell people a story of my life when I found out they told my son was coming. They took me into a little locker room to change my clothes, put on the scrubs and stuff to get ready for the delivery room. And I was sitting there for about 3 minutes by myself, and reality kicked in that holy crap, it's not a goldfish here. It's a little boy I gotta keep alive. And I'm started like questioning myself like, what if I don't feed him? What if I don't feed him enough? Like, I gotta make sure he eats and stuff. I'm not babysitting this kid now. I got this kid for the rest of his life, and it was a scary moment, but after having him, me personally, it was like I couldn't picture life how I had lived life so long without him. It just
Hmm.
becomes a permanent fixture of your life. And before, you just think about how much your life is going to change with a child, and then after you get into the groove of things, you just how did you ever live life without this child?
Right.
And I'm sorry, Janae. Let's get to your what is your most funniest parent story?
um, I can honestly say my funniest parent story was when Zaya was little, and him talking, he couldn't talk for the longest time. It's like he was talking Spanish, and we could not understand what he was saying since I was about 3, 4 years
So,
old.
so you had a minion conversation.
Yes. And he would really look at us like, y'all don't know what I'm saying. No, Zai, we know. You speaking Spanish right now. So we used to call Zai Little Poppy, but we did not know what he was saying. But
God.
Nah, I don't know if that was Spanish. I think that was a little bit gibberish.
yes, for the most part, with a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
So the important thing is he understood what he was saying.
Yeah.
He did.
He was getting his point across. It's just that we didn't catch up with him. So
Yes,
Yeah.
Zai was crazy,
That's an
man.
amazing story.
And can I say, I hear you two saying how when I remember when Janae was pregnant. I remember with Junior, the fear that y'all had before they were born. Mine was the total opposite.
Okay.
I didn't have fear.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think mine was more joyful knowing that I was going to have something that belonged to me,
Mhm.
completely to me.
Mhm.
And the thought never crossed, how am I going to do this? How am I going to feed them? How am I going to raise them? What if I do something wrong? And I think that was mainly because I had my mother,
Mm.
and she taught me how to be a mother.
Mhm.
Just by watching her with her children and grandchildren, it taught me how to be a mother. And she was an awesome mother.
Wow.
So I think that's why I didn't have that fear. You
Okay.
know,
It's funny that you say that because that's actually a good way to segue to the next thing I wanted to touch on. One of the next things I wanted to discuss. Um, Now I know both of y'all heard the last episode I did, which was why African women don't support other African women. Both of you were very gracious with your feedback on the subject, and I thank you for the positive feedback as well as um, keeping me up and notifying me and educating me on other reasons that women can't support each other, especially you, Miss Janae, who sent a very beautiful feedback, and I wish I could have shared it with the world because it was the typical feedback that I would like to have, and I wish everybody would give that much content and thought into the feedback. One of the things you spoke on in there, and I wanted to have that conversation on air with you about, is you said the importance of having a mother teach you how to love yourself, to be a woman, how to be a mother. How important of a role did your mother play into your life and you becoming mom? Whether it was a negative she did or a positive thing she done in life, how important of a role your mother had on your growth as a woman, who you are today?
I would say that with all the negativity, it's just made me look at how good of a mother I wanted to be to my kids and see what certain things I will never treat my kids and do certain stuff. So that's why it's like I just try to always be there for my kids as much as I can
Mm,
because my mom wasn't there for me.
mm.
So that's why I had said that.
Now, one of the things I want to ask you is because I know so many women who have these bad relationships with their mother don't get the love they want, the support from their mothers, and what happens is a lot of times that carries on to them as an adult, as a woman, and it affects their relationship with their children. You
Mhm.
know, not only with their children, but some of the men they deal with in life. How did you not let which the relationship you had with your mother, the lack of relationship you had with your mother, not affect you and not turn you into a bitter woman or a woman that wanted to give your child the same childhood you have? What made you turn?
Honestly, I just wanted to break the family trait. I didn't
Mm,
want to do the same stuff that everybody continue on doing. So I'm trying to be the best mother I can be. And Tamla, aka Mom, too, stepped in when we was
mm,
about 12, 13 years old and shined some light on what to do, what not to do as a mother
mm.
also. So Mom really needs to answer this
thank you,
question.
baby.
Now, as going to you, I know that you took opened your doors, opened your home to Janae and her sister Tiara when they were, I think it was like 12 and 11 years old.
Mhm.
How was that? Your kid's much older now. You have you're back taking on teenagers. How
Mm.
was that as a mother?
It was hard. It was hard, but I wouldn't change it for anything. It was difficult because I had to gain their trust.
Mm,
And that I think was the biggest issue. They didn't trust, and I think it was because of women coming in and out of their lives. You
Right.
know, not knowing is she going to stay
Mhm.
or how long is she going to stay.
Mm.
So the hardest task I had was and not so much TT's trust because she started trusting really fast.
Right.
It was Janae, the
Right.
one that would not put that guard down,
Mm.
and she just would not trust. But I felt like love conquers everything.
Right.
And I'm going to chisel and chisel and chisel until I get this
Mhm.
girl, find that heart that I know that she has inside.
Right.
It was a hard task, but when I tell you it was worth it
Right.
because she has become an awesome young woman, and I am so proud of her. I used to sit there and I used to talk to her and I used to think this child is not even listening. you know, because me and his dad used to talk to her and think this child is not. How the heck are we going to get through to her?
Right.
But the whole time she was.
Yeah.
And I can remember a day she said something to me and it brought tears to my eyes because I thought, Dad, she really did listen.
Mm.
She really did listen. Versus TT who was so open to give you her love
Mhm.
didn't listen. She was so I'm just gonna go my own way. I'm gonna do my
Right.
own thing. But I understood because me and her also had a conversation. Tiara wanted her mother,
Right.
and I understood that. And I
Mm.
always told them, I'm never gonna ever try to replace your mother,
Mm.
and I'm never gonna try to be her. But I'm gonna be there for you. As long as you need me, and I'll be the mom that they need me to be. And I have no regrets. I have no regrets.
Wow. I think that's something I want to speak on both of you. One of the things we like to do on the podcast is we like to give people their flowers while they're still able to smell them. And I want to talk to you both individually and give you your flowers and tell you how amazing you are. I'll start with you, Janae. I agree with Miss Ryder on everything she said. I had a conversation with you before the podcast started. And we had a long conversation, and I talk to you often. Even if I don't talk to you, I'm always watching you from a distance and seeing how you work. And a story I would like to share on the podcast, and I think this is very important to highlight about Janae is I went to visit her one day, and I don't know what was the reason for the visit. I seen something. She had a mantle right in her kitchen area. On that mantle, she had a diploma that she had graduated high school, and she had actually went back to I don't know if it was Penn Foster or Grover. She had a high school diploma. Nonetheless, that's not important where she got it from, but she had it. I didn't know she graduated. Didn't know she got her diploma, and it was a very not only was it a very proud moment, but it also spoke to her to how she is, to her integrity, the type of person she is. Where you have a lot of people who are so transparent about their life on social media and discuss everything from what they're eating to who they're sleeping with to where they're going to what they're wearing to what they're thinking. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this young lady accomplished this huge goal, but was humble enough to keep it to herself, not being stingy, but was so humble she didn't feel the need to brag about it, to post it all over social media. So it was like a twofold thing where it was one of the proudest moments of my life to see that you went back and you got that. Despite having two kids,
Mhm.
you went back and did it for yourself and for if no one else.
Mhm.
Also, just in the conversations that I have with you, the want to better yourself, the want more, the ability to want more, and never look at your circumstances and limit yourself. I have to say, it's definitely an honor to know you and to know a woman like you and how extraordinary you are in today. And we need more women like you. For you to overcome your circumstances and to continue to strive like you do, it shows your intelligence, it shows your humbleness, it shows your ambition, your motivation, and it shows that you are a shining example of what a woman should and could be, and that there's no limitations on your life. And me personally, I'm thankful to have a front row seat to see how far you go and how much you accomplish because from the seat I'm sitting in and what I'm staring at, you have a very bright future, and your children should be honored to have a mother like you.
Thank you
So
so
I wanted to just
much.
say that
Thank
about you.
you.
And it's I know I probably said mouthful, but it's those words are not even enough to describe the greatness that you bring to this world and that you bring to your children's lives and the people who are around you. So once again, thank you for being such an extraordinary mother.
Thank you.
Ms. Ryder, opening your doors for stepchildren is never an easy thing, let alone raising your own two children, being a single mother. It's as a parent who adopted a kid and just knows the challenges of bringing in a child, earning that trust, earning that respect, and trying to teach them how to be a respectable adult, I have to say, I tip my hat to you and I thank you because not only did you touch your two children's lives, but you reached out and you took on the challenge of touching multiple other children's lives, inspiring them, giving them a future, showing them the way, teaching them through your journey. Not only you have been an incredible mother to me, and I always tell you when you congratulate me on my success, pat yourself on the back as well, because I'm not successful without you. And without all the things you've done with raising me, teaching me, encouraging me, working hard, I'm not here doing this podcast today. So that's why it's so important today and every day to give you my thanks for being such an extraordinary mother and for giving me this opportunity to not only do this podcast with you two extraordinary women, but to be able to return, touch other people's lives, give them an opportunity for excellence. So I want to thank you personally for being such an extraordinary mother and for all the great things you do. And this is not just today, it's for every day. You are an amazing woman. You're an incredible mother. And you're an example of what a mother should be and how a mother should stand and be. Thank you so much for touching my life, for touching the person sitting next to me life, and touching so many other lives. We need more mothers like you. We need more people like you. At the end of the day, you just saved a lot of people's lives. So thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you guys too.
For being great.
You are definitely extraordinary. And we had a somber moment, but let's get back to business because that's what we're here for. Mother's Day. Let's talk about it. One of the questions I wanted to ask both of you ladies, and I really need your opinion on this. Now, Father's Day is around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
You both single mothers at one point, okay? What do you feel about the ongoing debate that goes on not only in social media but just in circles in general about mothers being recognized on Father's Day? What is your opinion? Do you think a mother should be, or a woman should be recognized as a father because they're playing dual roles? I'm interested in hear two women's perspective on that.
I can say yes and no.
Okay.
Because I feel like with some females, the kid's father wants to be there for them.
Okay.
But they have this bitterness towards the father where the father don't want them anymore. So they feel like, oh, I'm going to keep the child away from the father because of so many circumstances. But me personally, I would never do that. If my kid's dad want his kids, yes, you can have your kids. I don't have an issue with that. But I would say yes for the most part for the single moms who really is there pulling her own weight without any help. So yes, and then I would say no because of what I stated the first time. But
I agree with Janae. I think if the father, I understand that we were single parents, but if a father is still active in those children's lives, no, I don't think the mother should be recognized on Father's Day.
Okay.
But if she's pulling it, like Janae said, if she's pulling it from the muscle by herself with no help from the father, then yeah, she should be recognized. But that's for fathers also because you have fathers who are also mothers.
right.
Right.
And I just believe that those fathers out there, and I commend you guys whoever you are that are taking care of your children on your own. If the mother is not in their lives, they should be recognized on Mother's Day. And I have to say Happy Mother's Day to them.
Absolutely.
Because it works both ways.
Right.
But yeah, if the father's in there, is a part of, even though he's in a distance, no, the mother shouldn't be recognized. The father should get that.
Right.
But if he's not, then yeah, they should.
Okay, now can I get my side on this conversation from a man's perspective?
Sure.
My issue with it is I can understand both of your point of view, and my issue is, and one of the things I try to promote is put the light on the people who are doing their part. Put the light on the men who are being fathers. Put the light on the women who are being mothers, and not on the people who are not. with giving a woman the title of, oh, I'm gonna give, because you're a single mother, I'm gonna give you Father's Day too. What happens is, ultimately, you're taking away from the father that's being a father, and you're
Yeah.
putting the light on. You're giving that man that's not a father more shine, whether you mean to or not. You're basically highlighting the fact that he's not a father, and he's getting undeserved attention, while the man who's doing his part, doing his job, is not. He's not getting his attention. So it's more focusing on a negative and highlighting, putting a flashlight on a negative, why hiding the positive of life, hiding that man who is taking care of his children every day, who's raising his children, doing his part, or that woman who's doing their part. And I think we need to, even though women do serve both of those roles, I think we need to find a new way to serve women on a higher level for being single mothers as well as single fathers. But I also think it's important to also give more love and attention to those women who are single mothers, more
Mm-hmm.
support to those women, because you are truly the backbone that keeps our society going and keeping our children safe. When we talk about police brutality, we talk about children being killed and how we protect our children. A lot of times, I feel the mothers are the ones who do that, because a lot of times the fathers are just not there. You know, and, and that leads to a whole nother conversation I want to get to. Let's speak on the fact that fathers are not there. We talked about, my last segment was our children's right to live. How important of a role do you feel women play in our children's right to live, and your own personal opinion or experiences?
I think because the mother, the woman, should I say,
Mm-hmm.
is there on a full time basis,
Mm-hmm.
she's really the one who nurtures that young man or that young woman, who teaches them the right and wrong things to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, because I mean, and I always said this to you and to Lisha, a mother can never walk away from her children. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
true mother, you can never walk away from your children, but the man can leave at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I believe that she has a big effect on, you know, children. You
I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I just believe that because she's always there.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that has to, you know, tell that child what they need to do before they leave out that door to go catch the school bus, to make sure that they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, make sure they're respectful out there on the bus stop, make sure they're not caught up in those gangs and with the following other people that's doing the wrong things. You
Mm.
know, if you're going to follow somebody that's doing the right things.
Mm-hmm.
We have our children tend to follow all the wrong things,
Yeah.
Right.
but we as parents need to teach them that that's not what you do. You know, and I think that that's a big part of it. And I think that's why, yeah, the women play a big part in that.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with mom said. And just like with school and stuff too, how more moms is more involved with school, going on field trips and stuff, parent
Mm.
teacher conference. It's not too many guys that's involved with that kind of stuff. Like it's just more of the mom. She got to take on more roles in the kid's life than dads.
Right.
You know, and kudos to the dads who do.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
some that do.
dads who go to the parent teacher conference, the dads who walk those kids to that front door to tell them what they need to do or not to do when they
Mm.
walk out that door. Because yeah, we have to constantly tell our children what you need to and not to do when you
Hmm.
walk out that door. Because when your children are away from you, it's no telling what they'll do.
Right.
Of course, they're going to be obedient when they're in your presence,
Hmm.
but you need to teach them how to be when they're not in your presence.
Mm.
You know, so yeah.
And with that being said, let's go to this question. Tim, Miss Ryder, this is directly to you. What lessons do you feel that your mother taught you that made you become this great, extraordinary woman you are today? What did she instill? What did she instill into you that made you become such a great woman who opened not only your arms, your doors, but your heart to raising other children?
Well, first of all, she showed me how to love unconditionally.
Mm.
You know, she taught me that a woman has to be strong and independent.
Right.
A woman has to nurture her children no matter what. A
Mm.
woman has to teach her children. You know, some people say a woman can't raise a man. Well, I beg to
Mm.
differ because my mom taught me a woman can raise a man because a woman knows what she wants from a man. She knows how a man's supposed to treat a woman. She knows what a man's supposed to do for his home.
Mm.
So I feel like she taught me how to be a mother. She taught me how to be a grandmother. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to clean.
Mm.
She taught me everything that I needed to know. She taught me that you never close your door to your children. You never close your door to anybody that's in need.
Mm.
And if you're like, if well, back in her day, they married before they had children.
Right.
In my time, we didn't. We just had children and then we married.
Right.
But she also taught me that when you take on a man, you
Mm.
take on everything that comes with that man.
Right.
Every responsibility that he has becomes yours as well.
Right.
So that's what she taught me about dealing with my stepchildren, and you never give up on them because you never know what those children have been through.
Right.
A mother has to struggle, but a mother also cannot let her children see her struggle.
Mhm.
Mm.
Her children should never know what her struggle is.
Right.
And that's just what she taught me. And a woman, there's a difference between being a girl and a woman. She always said that to us.
Can you break that down for us?
The difference is a girl is going to do what a child does. A
Okay.
girl can't raise children.
Mm.
A girl can't make a home.
Right.
A girl deals with little boys.
Okay.
A woman, she goes out and she gets her, she finds that home. She gets in there and she makes it home.
Right.
Not just a house, but a home where you have the warmth, the comfort and the love. A woman respects herself.
Right.
A woman covers up.
Right.
A woman doesn't go outside with her hair not combed. If you wear makeup with your makeup off, the slippers on, your pajamas, a woman don't do those things. A woman has respect for herself when she's out in the street. A woman doesn't have a foul mouth.
Right.
A woman doesn't allow a man to touch on her in the streets. It's a time and a place for that. You should never have a man rubbing on you in the streets. I see a lot of that. And when you go out, be presentable. These are the things a woman. So a woman raises her children. A woman doesn't put her children off on somebody else to raise.
Right.
A woman, if she has to be a single woman, she goes out and she does what she's supposed to do for those children, for that household.
Mm.
And a woman has a backup for the backup.
Mhm.
Right.
Now,
you said backup for the backup. What do you mean by
Meaning,
backup for the backup?
like when I had you guys being a single parent and working, didn't have money for child care and stuff like that. Okay, you may have somebody to babysit here, but just suppose that person gets sick.
Right.
You can't go to work. No, you got to have somebody else in line.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have issues with your car may break down. You don't have the money to get that. You may not have the money to get it fixed. You got to have a backup for that. So
Right.
everything you do in life, you have to have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to have a plan. You always have to have a means to get to what you need to get to.
Right.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's a great explanation. I wanted to talk to you ladies about something before we shut this down. One of the questions I had for you was domestic violence. Now we see you spoke on women allowing men to touch them in public and respecting themselves. One of the things we see in the news all the time is women being either violated as far as touch, even with our current president, bragging about grabbing women in a certain area. You deal with the domestic abuse of women getting abused and such. What are ways do you feel women can bond together to fight back against all these injustice that they're facing and dealing with?
I feel like females just have to stop being so aggressive towards each other and so angry and find a way, some type of way to come together. But it's like Delaware being so small, so many people that don't like each other. So it's so much competition going on with dressing wise, hair wise, look wise, wearing makeup, not wearing makeup. So it's just so much different stuff going on. But some way, somehow, we got to find a way to come together and build each other up. But how do we do that is the question. Because there's so many bitter and aggressive females in this world, and it's like they don't even want to try at all. So it's like,
And speaking to the bitter and aggressive females, the first thing that you really need to do is find your worth.
right.
Find what you have within yourself, because if you have that confidence in yourself and you know what you're worth, then you're not going to worry about anybody else, what they look like, what they
Hmm.
have on, how their hair is, the
Mm,
way they're dressed. You're going to be woman enough to compliment those women.
Right.
right.
And I think that we women need to band together. The women who were abused need to tell the younger women about it.
Hmm.
They need to tell them that it's okay to speak up about it. You
Right.
don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to hide it. It's not your fault.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's choices
Hmm.
Right.
that we make. If a man hits you once, he's going to continue to do it.
Hmm.
Right.
And if he hit you that one time, then you need to walk away. Love yourself enough to walk away.
Right.
And I just believe that but we as women really do need to come together.
Yeah.
Stop the jealousy, stop the envious, behavior, stop all that. We're all women.
Right.
And that's the key word, women.
Yes.
Because if you're a woman, you're not worrying about any of that. That's the difference between women and little girls.
Right.
Little girls get envious. Little girls get jealous. Little girls can't walk up to a woman and say, you're a beautiful black woman. What's the harm in that?
Hmm.
Right.
Let us know that we're beautiful. Maybe we're not. The person's not feeling it within themselves.
Mm,
And if you say that to them, you could brighten their whole week.
Hmm.
absolutely.
Just by a simple word. And I just believe, and I do believe that despite all, like Janae said, these simple little girls out here, we women can lead by example.
Right.
We women have to come together.
Mm,
We women have to show them that this is what we're about.
mm,
We're not about to fighting one another, the
Mhm.
arguing and the bickering. No, we're about communicating. We're about building up. We're about uplifting. We're about telling you to come up out of that hole you're in, and
mm,
we can help you. And we
mm,
have a door that we can open to get you out of the situation you're in. Let us help you.
mm.
I just believe that that's what we need to do.
Absolutely. Stop looking for a silver lining in the situation and start giving people empathy. Try to show that I'm not going to just try to find something good in your situation, but I'm going to try to let you know that you're not alone in your
Right.
situation. No matter what your struggle is, you're not alone and you have a friend that will help you through it. And I think that's important as women. I'm a big advocate on women's rights and women getting equal pay, being able to go to work and not worry about being sexually harassed or sexually abused or beaten by men. I think that any man that puts their hand on women is not a man, but you're a boy, and
Mhm.
you're a disgrace to every man out here. That's just my point of view, my opinion, and I stand on that. You both said a lot, and it was very great and encouraging. And I think every woman should listen to exactly what you said, because the importance of you coming together is the importance of ending all the injustices that you deal with every day. And despite where women are, where you are in life, it the problems out here still face you. Whether it face you today or tomorrow, it's still going to affect you at some point. You can be a CEO of a company and still be sexually harassed, sexually abused, or beaten. You can still deal with the indifference between the wage gap. And I think the only way all this is going to change is if women band together. I understand there's a certain cattiness. I understand there's a certain separation with the looks and the how you dress. But this is the importance of why I wanted both of you women on here, was to show and shine an example of two women who are not only great women but great mothers, and are not focused on what another woman's wearing or how they look, but focused on their own inner beauty, how they look in raising their children. And I feel if we have more women like you out here, we can get to that day where we're not going to experience all the injustices women face every day. And that's the real reason why I asked both of you women on here, not just because you are two members of family and two women I love very much, but because you are two shining examples of what a woman is. With that being said, what advice would either one of you give to a mother, whether it's a new mother or a mother of children, single mother, or a mother that has a husband? What advice would you give to another mother right now to be a better mother, a better woman?
Me, I would say always put your kids first, no matter what. Even
Absolutely.
before yourself, sometimes you have to put your kids first because their needs come before yours. As Tamla, aka Mom, taught me. So I would say put your kids first before anything.
I agree that your children should come first. You know, despite anything, your children have to come first.
Hmm.
Okay.
You know, I don't care what I look like as long as y'all have what you need.
Hmm.
You know, and yes, it does come a time where we need to do some things for ourselves,
Yes.
but as long as my children are okay, then I'm okay.
Hmm.
Once I get them straightened out, then I can get straightened out. And as
Right.
far as the women who have husbands, allow those men to be a man. See, because that's the issue I had being a single mother for all those years, being an independent
Mm.
woman, and I haven't lost my independence, but I finally learned how to allow my husband to be a man
Mm.
and not take that from him. That was another thing that mom always taught us, to let a man be a man.
Right.
You know, and she is funny because she used to say, you know, let them have their opinion. Let them say what they want to say. At the end of the day, it's always going to be your way anyway. You know, the woman always wins. You know,
Absolutely.
you're it, but we're gonna let them have that.
Right.
I say to a woman that has a husband, just let them have and support your husband,
Mm.
no matter what. You know, support your husband. If he's wrong, don't chastise him in front of anybody.
Mm.
Go behind closed doors, and
Right.
that's where you do it at.
Right.
You know, you never get on your husband nor your children in front of anybody else.
Hmm.
Right.
People, you know, feed on that kind of stuff.
Mm.
You know, my mom always taught me that if you have something to say, you wait until you go home behind closed doors in a private place and then you say it.
Okay.
You know, raising your children, teach your children the way they're supposed to come up, not the way that you did. If it was wrong, teach your children the right way.
Right.
You know, and talk to your children. Most
Yes.
importantly, communicate with your children. Don't sugarcoat anything. You
Mm.
know, tell them how it really is, straight and raw, because they're going to get it in the street. So
Mm.
I'd rather them get it at home first.
Right.
You know, and if you feed their curiosity, they won't have to go out there looking for
Hmm.
anything.
Right.
You know, these little boys that are wanting to watch the little porn on the internet and stuff. You got to teach them what that is
Hmm.
and what the outcome could be. You know, if you get out there and try to do the stuff that you're seeing on here,
Right.
I mean, it's consequences for every action. You have to
Hmm.
teach your children that. You
Absolutely.
know, teach a little boy how to be a man. A little boy, you never put your hands on a little girl.
Absolutely.
You go and tell her parent or tell another adult that's there.
Right.
You don't put your, and that's how I raised you. You never put your hands on a female.
Hmm.
Okay, but women, stop putting your hands. Tell your daughters to stop putting
Hmm.
their hands on these little boys.
Right.
You know, because you cannot do that.
Mm.
You just, I mean, and that's what I think. You know.
No, you said couldn't say it better. I thank you for saying that. I couldn't say it better. Couldn't. Yeah, you said it. And I hope all women, everybody out here is listening to what Miss Ryder just said because she has dropped a wealth of knowledge on you. And if you follow the steps in the blueprint she gave you, you too can be a successful mother and a woman. She gave you the guidelines of what it means to be a woman, how it means to be a woman, and how you should conduct yourself as a woman. Do either one of you have anything in closing that you would like to say before we close this out?
First, I just like to say I give God the glory for um each and every one of the children that He's blessed me with in my life, the ones that I birthed and the ones that I didn't. You know, I thank God for that because you guys make me better.
Right.
You know, you guys make you know, we don't realize, but our children keep us grounded because see, we have to be
Hmm.
because you watch everything we do.
Yes.
You know, so we kind of have to stay grounded. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of my children. I love each and every one of y'all unconditionally. I wouldn't change anything. Well, some of y'all would change some things about
Uh-huh.
y'all, but you know,
That's
you
honesty
know,
for you.
yeah, you know, some things I would change about y'all, but I take it. You know, I take it, and I appreciate. I'm proud. I'm proud of a lot of y'all. Your achievements that you made. You know, the things that you're doing with your own children. I'm proud. You know, I'm definitely proud. And most of all, Alan the Great, I have to say, I'm really proud of you. I'm really extremely proud of you. You have excelled to. I used to tell you that once you got some things in order,
Mm-hmm.
you could go to the stars. Well, you've excelled beyond the stars,
Yes.
okay?
Appreciate it.
There's no limit to where you can go or the things that you can do. And you graduating from Wilmington University this
Mm-hmm.
year, I'm commending you on that. You
Thank you.
know, I'm so proud of you for that. And you're setting an example for your sisters and your
Mm-hmm.
other brothers. And
Mm-hmm.
understand that they're following you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're seeing all that. So,
Right.
and Janae, awesome, baby. I, I figured you would get it sooner or later, but you have come a long way. I'm really proud of you. You know, a mother. You got your home. You got your car. You're an independent woman. You know, I never thought I would see you work as hard as you do, but you do, and I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of all my children. I really am, and the ones that are not where they're supposed to be, I know that they're going to get where they're supposed to be. So, yeah.
Me, I want to say thanks, Mom, for being great. You'll
You're
give the shirt off
welcome.
your back for anybody, not even your kids.
Mhm.
Thanks for taking me when you didn't have to. And my sister also, even though she's, you know, and Boop, I want to say I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And like Mom said, I'm looking up to you,
I appreciate
trying to
that.
follow your
I
footsteps.
appreciate
But
that. I appreciate that. And like I said, thank you both for being such a shining light and example of what a woman's supposed to be, a mother's supposed to be. You both played a valuable role in my life and keep me going. I thank y'all both for the very kind words y'all said to me and what you spoke about me. I hope to continue to be influenced not only on your lives but other lives, and to continue to assist on encouraging others to chase their dreams, their goals, and living up to their best ability. I appreciate you both for being here, and I want to thank you again for being extraordinary mothers. And you do not deserve to just be. Mother's Day shouldn't be limited to one day. It's something that should be celebrated all year, because what it means to be a mother is something great. With you do to this world, the accomplishments, all the things that you give to us is so important and so valuable. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mother and it wasn't for you and so many others, Janae. It's can't say enough. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to both of you ladies, and I want to thank you
Thank you.
for
thank
being
you.
extraordinary mothers, and for being the first female guest to actually come on to the Ordinary People podcast. I really appreciate that, and just for your time. Before I close this out, to all the mothers out here who are, whether you're a single mother, you're adopting children, you're foster care, whether you're raising your nieces and nephew, your grandchildren, I want to say thank you for being a mother and for leaving a positive imprint on the children and encouraging a brighter future for us all. Not only for your children, but my children as well. Miss Ryder, all your children. Miss Janae, all your children. All of our children are being affected by the great things and the morals that you're putting into your children. It's having a positive effect, and don't think for a second that what you do as a mother is going unnoticed and is not important. The work you do is the most important thing to us all, because once again, mothers are the ones who leave the biggest imprint on this world. Y'all are the most important factors to this world. And without y'all, none of this would exist. The world wouldn't exist. We wouldn't exist. So I want to just tell y'all thank you for being great mothers, being great shining examples. Women, you're not limited to you're you're not. The only limits are limitations you put on yourself, not the
Hmm.
limits that anybody else put on you. So overcome them limitations, no matter whether you're a mother, no matter what your financial situation, your living situation, you can overcome it. Women, you are the most powerful beings on this earth. You're the strongest beings on earth. You're the backbone. You are the earth. We stand on you. We praise you. We love you. And we thank you for all you do. And once again, this Mother's Day shouldn't be restricted to one day. It should be something celebrated all year round. And at the Ordinary People podcast, we will always have a door open and an open heart for all mothers out here and all women who are setting an example in leading this culture, us as a total people, on the right path to greatness, success, and happiness. So to all the mothers out there, I would like to say to you, Happy Mother's Day. If no one else tell you they love you, I love you, and I appreciate you. This has been another episode of Ordinary People Podcast, where we talk to ordinary people with extraordinary stories. Normally, I'll tell you to like the video, subscribe to my channel, Alan the Great on YouTube, Yes, we're going to be going on iTunes soon. I apologize for not getting there yet. I know you're probably tired of hearing me apologize. We're getting there. We're working towards it. We're going to have a lot of great giveaways and stuff once we get on there. So you might want to subscribe and stay tuned to the podcast because a lot of great things are coming. Once again, I want to thank my guests, Miss Ryder, Miss Janae.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
for
Thank
being
you.
two extraordinary mothers. Thank you for your time. And thank you for leaving an imprint not only on my life, but the lives of many others. This has been the Ordinary People Podcast. Peace.